Let's go ahead and set up Hilt and the structure of our project. Let's get rid of all of this testing that we were doing earlier. We no longer need that. Okay, let's go ahead and open our project structure here, files. And inside of main Java there, let's go to our folder. So right there, I'm going to right click, create a few packages. The first one is going to be components. This is where we can put all the components, classes, and so forth. Let's create another package, call this data, DI for dependency injection. We'll see that. And model. Navigation. This is where we're going to put all the classes that pertain to navigation, because this app will need some navigation. And we are going to add network. It seems like a lot, but it's necessary. Repository, such. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. And let's pass screens here. And then last but not least, we're gonna put utils. So it's always nice to have this structure, because especially in projects that are a little bit more complex, you want to make sure that related classes are grouped together. That's why we have these different packages. All right. Okay, so at our package level there, I'm going to right click, create a new Kotlin class, and this, I'm going to call this ReaderApplication as such. And this one will have to add the @Hilt Android app to say that this is going to, of course, allow the entire application to bind other dependencies. So this actually has to go and invoke or inherit from application, Android application. See? So application is the higher class that governs the entire application, right? The entire project. So before we forget, we must make this official by going to Android manifest and say the Android name, and we need to invoke this reader application app to say this indeed is the class that will connect everything, will have access to all the bindings, and of course all of the dependencies of the entire project, the entire app. And don't forget to add the @Hilt Android. Right? And that's all we need to do for this class. And next, in our DI here, I'm going to right click, create a new Kotlin class. This is actually going to be an object as such, and I'm going to call this AppModule. This is where we're going to add providers that are needed to provide certain instances, for instance, instances of a repository, instances of anything that we're doing will be needed in this application. Okay. For that to work, we need to pass a few annotations here. First of all, add module to say this is indeed a module. And then we're going to say @install in and pass the SingletonComponent class. And inside here, we're going to come back. Like I said, this is where we're going to add more of the providers and so forth. We'll get back to that. Now, before we forget, I usually do, let's go to MainActivity and just add, also say @AndroidEntryPoint to say that this MainActivity is going to be the one that will receive all of the dependency injections when we say AndroidEntryPoint like that. I think for the basics, when it comes to Hilt, dependency injection, we should be good for now. Of course, all of these other packages will be filled with classes and so forth. So we are going to slowly ramp up our process here. We're putting together this amazing application. All right, I'll see you next.